You'll meet a man whose life is on the run, and a contender at age 98. This ought to be great. Tonight on The Wrap.
Now, Joel Perlis doesn't need a race to hit the road. All he needs is his shopping list, or to need to make a bank deposit, or perhaps to mail a letter. He finds any cause. I want to introduce you to the running man.
Life is all hustle and bustle, whether we're in our cars or on foot. Even our so-called leisure time is all stepping and spinning and jumping around like mad men and women. Everyone on the run, and no one seems to have enough time.
Instead of hopping in the car to go deliver photographs to the middle school, which is one on our route, or to the bank, which will be on our route today, go out and run.
From Ripley's, believe it or not, obviously it's real. Joel Perlish, a teacher at Manoa Elementary School in Havertown, regularly jogs to and from school with the students, and the group called Joel's Joggers since 1980 has clocked nearly 7,000, crossed out 11,000 miles.
Got up to 18,000.
His Havertown home is testament to his commitment to fitness. 5 bikes, including this $1,500 tandem job, so he can have some quality time with his wife.
When does it get obsessive?
It gets obsessive when somebody goes out and runs hard every day. It's just little segments. If you look at the whole thing, it looks impressive. It's really a functional fitness kind of thing. It's really a way of life.
This is beautiful stuff. This is your new career, your second life as a professional photographer. Does being outside, running, biking, kind of give you a whole different look at life around us out there?
I think so. You think about being healthier, and you think about things in such a way to help the world.
And Joel has gone for a run every day for 7,052 straight days, and counting.
Give me a typical day. What's it like when you go out on your route?
There's no typical day.
There is no typical day.
Somewhere throughout the day, there'll be a time where something will need to be delivered or picked up or taken somewhere. And somewhere in the day, that'll fit in.
Hey! Great. Couldn't get a better day, huh?
Nothing much makes me more angry than seeing a runner out at night, completely in black. You can't see him. But anybody can do it. You know, when I started, I couldn't run a phone pole length. Hey, how you feeling?
My left knee's starting to get a little sore.
How you feeling now?
Well, my right knee's really getting sore.
I thought you said your left knee.
Oh, yeah, my left.
Were you all right?
I'll catch you.
Hi, Joe. Hey, guys. How's it going?
Oh, fine, thanks. Where are we going?
How about the bank?
Okay.
My buddy Jim and I memorize long poems, and we frequently can say them as we run. And it's sort of a mind-body thing that gets going.
How about a little bit of the Raven, Joel?
Once upon a midnight dreary. What's next? Dropping off and picking up at the school.
Let's go. Distinctly I remember. It was the bleak December.
Hey, Ruth. Any film for me?
Yes, indeed.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Take care. All right, next stop, print shop for rubber stamps. Hey, Joe, how you doing?
Hi, Joe.
Good to see you. Got my rubber stamps?
There they are.
Thanks. It looked extremely rocky for the Mudville 9 that day. The score stood 2-4 with 1 inning left to play. Hey, guy, I'm going to pick up the tickets for my summer bike ride.
Keep running, Joel.
Take care. Hey, Mary Sue, how are you?
Good. Here he comes.
Thank you. How you feeling, Lou?
Oh, hey, still a little sore. And on he goes. You've probably seen him. Joel is 51, didn't begin running until 1979 at the age of 32. Oh, and among his other interests, as I started to mention, he has biked clear across America, coast to coast. He does segments very often across the country as a way of visiting some of his former students and disciples from his day as a grade school teacher.
It is the third grade class of Joe Perlish with the usual schoolroom activity, but the learning for his students does not end there.
And when the school bell rings for the class of Joe Perlish, they take it to the road. They're going to do their road work right now, up to about maybe 5 miles right now.
Joel's love to run is carried over to about a dozen of his students. It is a scene similar to Rocky II or to the Pied Piper, as Joel has them pounding the pavement every day.
Through my interest in taking my morning runs, I figured, well, some of my kids might be interested in doing that too. And I asked to see who was interested, and sure enough, a number were.
And, of course, in the words that kids love to hear, it is good for them.
Well, you don't get sick as much now because you're jogging and you don't get as much, and you don't get a cold.
You feel stronger because of it?
Yeah, my legs get stronger.
Does your father jack?
No,
Should he jack?
no,
Why?
because he can't handle it.
Why not?
Because he's like better at football and Joel's like better at jogging.
But would it help your father be healthier if he jacked?
Well, no, because he will like collapse.
These kids are healthy. David has run 56 miles since September. Steve has clocked about 115. And as a group, they are over 1,200 miles and still counting. I'm Gary Papa, Channel 6 Action News at the Manoa Elementary School.
Ready for 5?
Although it snowed this day, Joe Perlish will not be stopped from his daily run. Even with me slowing him down, he'll complete his 2,218th consecutive days of running. Every day, that is, for 6 years, totaling 11,800 miles. But there's more to this story than Joel's love of running.
Pat, good morning. How you doing? Ready to go? Go. Take care. See ya.
Joel is a teacher at the Manoa Elementary School, and some of his students often join him on his run. Here is Pat. And soon we'll see if Jamie will come out and play with us. Now there are 4.
Our total mileage since we've begun now is approaching 8,000 miles.
This Pied Piper effect is not done without some thought about the safety of the children. You don't put them through runs which may be too tough for them.
Always careful. That's the main thing. The idea is the long view. This is really a lifetime kind of sport, and the habits that the kids get now, and is just real important.
One more to pick up. What is it about the sport that really makes you so happy?
Because I get exercise. It's not too often that a teacher lets you run to school.
And 5 miles later, we are done. We head towards our reward. And too bad this place doesn't have a run-through instead of a drive-through, so we wouldn't have to stop at all. I'm Gary Papa, Channel 6 Action News with Joel's Joggers in Havertown.
I haven't seen Gary for a couple of days. He may still be out on the road. If anybody spots him, tell him to call home.
Guy hasn't had a day off in how many years is that?
He has been running almost forever.
7 years.
That's
a long time. Wow.
Gentlemen.
In Havertown, Pennsylvania, this morning is no different than any other morning for Joel Perlish. First, a few stretching exercises, followed by a 2 or 3 mile run. It began 6 years ago when Joel took a look at himself and realized it was time to get in shape.
I had always promised myself when I was 30 years old, 30 being some kind of benchmark, that I would really start taking care of myself. I wouldn't end up like a lot of people who I'd seen with tremendous bellies and not able to get around real well or make best use of a day.
In his spare time, Joel teaches 26 lively third graders at Manoa Elementary School. His concern for fitness has spread to include them in his program. Teacher and students jog to and from school every day as part of the Manoa Run Club, also known as Joel's Joggers.
I think that it probably influences the kids in a way that they're better able to control themselves during the day. Some of the excess energy is probably used up when we run in the morning. Basically, I think it helps kids be more in tune with their bodies so that they can control them better.
Joey Spitz is in the 2nd grade. He's only been running for several months, but in that time he has logged more than 60 miles. We talked with Joey's mother about his running.
It's really brought him out of himself because he's a very quiet child, which is really nice because he's getting to that point where he has to really come out. He can't be a follower. He has to be a leader in order to get anywhere. And I just feel that it's built an awful lot of confidence in him about himself that he can do this. You know, some children, they're not able to play certain sports or they're not built right. He's not exactly built to play football. But when it comes to running, he just excels and it really makes him feel good about himself.
This Pied Piper of Havertown arrives between 7:30 and 8 o'clock every morning to collect the children. We're now approaching the Loftus home. Patrick Loftus has logged well over 400 miles, making him the #1 runner in the club. His mother has noticed a dramatic change in his attitude.
He likes school a lot better, which is a big change from 2nd grade. He absolutely hated school. Last week, they did a 6.5 mile run after school, and I noticed he came in, he spent a half hour, got a snack and cooled off. And then he went right outside to the backyard and played shot baskets for a whole hour. That's his schedule. Run, school, run again, baseball, homework.
I'm trying to beat 439 because no one has passed that amount of miles yet, and someone's made it, but it looks like I'm going to be passing it.
Jamie Cotton has run more miles than any other girl in the history of the Manoa Run Club. In addition to the fitness benefits of running, Jamie's mother has noticed other positive changes in her daughter.
She gets her own breakfast. It's prompted her to be a little more independent in the morning, not waiting for me. And then she gets her clothes and she has to decide on what the weather's going to be, that kind of thing. And it gets her going in the morning. It also gives her something to encourage her discipline. In other words, at nighttime, she says she has to make the decision at night whether she's going to run. Then she has to stick to her goal in the morning.
You might be asking yourself, like I did, why these kids volunteer to leave their warm beds just so they can run to school. The answer is simple.
It's fun when you get exercise. I started running with my teacher this year, and I've already run 185.5 miles this year.
It's easy to come up with good ideas. The hard part is following through. Joel Perlish has been following through for the last 5 years. Since the Manoa Run Club began in 1980, the total mileage for all runners is approaching close to 8,000 miles. Joel may be an unorthodox teacher, but you can't argue with his results.
He spends a great deal of time with the kids because he likes them so much as little people. I mean, they're not students, it's not a job, it's his life.
I try to treat kids on a level so that they know that I respect them and respect them as people, not just as children. Kids use my first name. I think that any kind of a respect has to be earned and that it just can't be beat into kids. The kids keep me thinking young and they keep me moving.
How many miles did that little girl say she'd run?
She said 185.5. And that takes a lot of self-discipline for a little 3rd grader.
I don't think I've got that much self-discipline. We'll be right back.
I felt sorry.
Usually goes to someone who has in some way helped a person or some people. Well, today's award goes to a man whose caring and help has helped a lot of people and will stay with them for a lifetime.
The classroom is called Manoa's Junction, where great people and ideas come together. The teacher, 39-year-old Joel Perlish, puts it all together.
This summer, I blotted out and flew with my bicycle to a place called Port Angeles, Washington State.
He doesn't spend the whole summer bicycling the country. This teacher, in August, drops in at the home of each student that he will have in September.
I like to go around and meet them and meet their parents, and the kids are then more comfortable with the classroom.
Joel, as he wants students to call him, says that other teachers are just as dedicated, but a parent who has had 2 children in Joel's class thinks he's special.
Joel has made learning enjoyable for them. He's made it fun to come to school and to do the things that they have to do to learn.
He spends extra time with his students, too. Some jog with him to school. The class produces a weekly newspaper, among other things. But isn't that a real drain on his private time?
I think that it enhances the time alone or the time with my wife, because it just really adds another dimension of life.
Well, in view of that attitude of yours, this says your caring and unselfish commitment of time and energy has set an example for all of us. And for that, Joel Perlish, please accept Channel 10 Spirit of Philadelphia Award.
I thank you very much for it.
And what do you all think? Huh? Joel Perlish, this week's winner of Channel 10's Spirit of Philadelphia Award. I found something else interesting that he said. I asked him how he wanted his students to remember him as they looked back, and he said he would like the students to say, "I learned a lot, and I want to learn more."
He's so low-key about it, too,
Yeah, he was very unassuming.
Okay.
Set for next December. Costanzo had planned to quit, claiming he didn't have the support of the Board of Education. Well, the parents' message apparently got through. When the board meeting convened, Costanzo announced that he'd changed his mind and would stay on. The cheers from the audience were ample evidence that the superintendent's decision was a welcome one. Dr. Costanzo is well known in local education circles, having run the Philadelphia system back in the early 70s.
Teachers and there's a community in turmoil over a threatened teacher strike. Channel 3's Robin McIntosh says that parents and students feel they're caught in the middle.
There was no chanting, no speeches, no accusations being hurled in front of the Haverford Junior High School tonight. Just parents and students, hundreds of them, marching, carrying signs, all demanding the same thing: a fair contract for the district's 290 teachers, a contract that will head off a strike. The teachers have threatened to call if there's no progress in negotiations. Parents say they aren't taking sides with the teachers or the school board. They're only siding with their children.
We don't want to strike. We don't want their education to be interrupted. There's been enough going on in this township, and we want our children to remain in school.
While the parents marched, the district's teachers were holding a closed-door meeting going over the district's latest offer, an offer that administrators think shows bargaining progress.
While we didn't get a settlement, we have another meeting scheduled for Saturday morning. We feel that, we've made progress.
Caught in the middle of the bargaining and the strike threats are Haverford students who say they don't want to strike.
If there is a strike, that the school board should make arrangements for the seniors so that we can graduate on time.
Haverford Township has never had a teacher's strike, and parents here say they want to keep it that way. They say this school year has already been disrupted by asbestos in the school buildings that's forced some major rescheduling. They say a teacher strike on top of that would be devastating for the students. In Haverford Township, Delaware County, I'm Robin McIntosh, Eyewitness News.
Haverford Township. What we cannot tell you is if there will be school on Friday. The problem is a possible teacher strike, and parents are up in arms. The parents picketed tonight's school board meeting to make their position clear. They don't want a strike.
What we want is we want the teachers and the board to sit down in good faith and bargain out a contract which is fair to all, so that our children have an uninterrupted education which they are entitled to.
Although these people say they are neutral, when they went into the board meeting, they booed the board. And they cheered when critics criticized the board. Superintendent Matt Costanza told me he's optimistic there won't be a strike. The teachers, meanwhile, were meeting at the same time in Drexel Hill. They rejected the board's latest offer and agreed to meet again on Saturday. The big question: will there be school in the morning?
We've agreed to extend the contract on a day-to-day basis, so all I can say is we have agreed with the district to extend tomorrow.
So there's school Thursday. But Friday?
No comment.
In addition to all the labor problems, there's more. The senior high school here is closed because they're removing asbestos from it. Today, they found asbestos in the basement of the junior high school to even further complicate the problem. But they say that problem, the problem of asbestos in both buildings, will be corrected by the 1st of October. So these people went home advised the asbestos crisis is under control.
Association and school board have been battling over a contract.
Now, teachers won't comment Wednesday night when asked if they would walk off the job. Another bargaining session is scheduled for this weekend. Meanwhile, school officials say students should report to classes. If no teachers show up, they'll be sent home. And a 3-month strike against Merck & Co.
Progress of their contract talks with the school district. Harvey Clark reports over 4,000 students reported to school this morning, only to be turned away.
The sick out caught just about everyone off guard. Children showed up for classes at Haverford Junior High this morning, only to find out that almost every teacher in the district had called in sick.
Well, it's apparent we've had a very effective sick out this morning. Out of approximately 300 teachers, all but about 25 are out sick this morning.
Any indication of when schools might get underway again?
No, however, we certainly plan business as usual Monday morning.
Teachers and the administration say they are a long way from coming to terms on a new contract. School officials say that salaries, benefits, and teacher preparation time are the issues. Teachers won't speculate on whether their sick out will spill over into next week or even threaten a full-fledged strike.
The fact that this event has occurred, I think, is a clear indication of the depth of feeling, the anxiety level that the teachers are feeling in this district. We certainly don't want to strike. Okay, we certainly do not want to strike, and we're hoping for a settlement tomorrow.
There has never been a teacher strike in Haverford Township, but this appears to be the most sensitive negotiation in the district's history. Harvey Clark, Channel 10 News.
And educators with 25 years experience would see their salaries rise from $34,000 to $40,000 a year. Haverford School Superintendent Dr. Matthew Costanzo told me the proposal would give teachers parity with neighboring districts.
We have a negotiating session planned for tomorrow, at which time we would hope to go over that offer in great detail. The teachers have had it for 2 or 3 days. They've asked for an opportunity to review it very carefully with their membership. So we'll determine that tomorrow, whether or not it's, by their definition, at least adequate.
Teachers Union spokeswoman Judith Rice doesn't agree on the parity issue, but she admits both sides are not that far apart. She told me teachers here have always thought of the students first, but this time around, the teachers are considering their welfare as well.
We've been bargaining since January, and we've gone back to work, but there is obviously a terribly high level of anxiety and a lot of feeling of upset in this district.
And in the middle of all of this are the students.
I feel that we'll be having to go extra time during the summer, and we're not getting the education like we should be. I also feel that the teachers should get a good contract. I mean, it's not fair that what the school board's been doing.
Although no one can say what will happen at tomorrow's negotiating session, both sides feel a settlement is possible. Meanwhile, there has never been a strike in the Haverford School District, but Mrs. Rice says today's job action is an indication there's a first time for everything. I'm Gary Majors, Channel 6 Action News in Haverford
Township School District after nearly all the teachers called in sick this morning. Channel 3's Robin McIntosh says they're suffering from the no-contract flu.
Give our teachers steady contracts. Give our teachers a steady contract.
Ben Spinelli, Sean James, and John Morgan should have been in school today, but they spent their morning calling for an end to the labor unrest that's marked their first days of the new school year. The 3 boys and their 4,800 fellow students in the Haverford Township School District had an unexpected day off when their teachers called in sick this morning, forcing school administrators to cancel classes. The 290 teachers have been working without a contract while negotiations continued, so today's job action came as a surprise.
We have a negotiating session planned for tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, and quite frankly, we're prepared to work right through the weekend, if need be, to reach a fair and equitable settlement. So this kind of caught us by surprise.
Teachers had promised not to strike while bargaining went on, but admit patience is turning to frustration.
They are feeling frustrated, hurt, sick, really upset about the status of events so far.
The students feel they're the ones caught in the middle and are hoping a weekend bargaining session will produce a contract.
I'm a senior and, I want to graduate this year. I don't think it's really fair on our part.
You disappointed the teachers called in sick today?
Yes.
Did you want to go to school today?
Yes.
So you miss it, huh?
Yeah, a lot.
Haverford Township has never had a teacher strike. In fact, this year is about as close to one as anyone can remember. But despite today's sick out, both sides remain hopeful a settlement can be reached, and quickly, because if it isn't, this empty classroom today may be just the beginning. In Haverford Township, I'm Robin McIntosh, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Summer vacation
called in sick today. And as you can see, the situation here at Haverford High School was typical of all 9 schools in the district. Students came to class, then they were sent home after some rejoicing. 4,700 students in all. The teachers in the district have been locked in a bitter contract dispute, but there is hope that a settlement can be reached during negotiations tomorrow.
And a surprise day off today for students at Haverford Junior High and at schools across the district. Teachers who've been working without a contract since the end of August staged a sick out in that district.
300 teachers, all but about 25 are out sick this morning.
We certainly do not want to strike, and we're hoping for a settlement tomorrow.
Officials are hoping for business as usual on Monday, but both sides are far apart. The issues, salaries and benefits, and teachers' preparation time. Talks will continue in the morning.